Needs to be known throughout the business community that we have a good partner in CoreCivic, that there are lots of steps being taken within the organization to prepare second chance citizens for workforce development.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
Across the Mahoning Valley, we are creating more jobs than there are people to fill the jobs. And so we have to look at new ways of increasing the labor participation rate. And second chance citizens are a good way to help some of our businesses that are facing labor shortages. So we think it's important to partner with a lot of different organizations to increase the labor participation rate here. That's why we partnered with Goodwill Industries. We work together on a workforce needs assessment to identify the barriers to employment for marginalized individuals. And now the work begins with different organizations like CoreCivic that can be paired up with employers to figure out what are the best pathways to get people from those organizations into paid positions. Needs to be known throughout the business community that we have a good partner in CoreCivic, that there are lots of steps being taken within the organization to prepare second chance citizens for workforce development. And we want to have as many businesses as possible to receive the benefits of a working group of people coming out of the incarceration system every year, every month. It's one piece of the solution.
We have a vast array of programming. So we have education programming, we do GED testing, we have vocational programming, horticulture, masonry, electrical, you name it, there's some type of programming that we can do. There's also faith-based anger management, AA, NA programs, addictions treatment, anything that we can do to help the individuals. We have a vast array that's on our tablets. The incarcerated men have tablets that they're able to utilize and have access to so they can gain college credits, or earn their AA or their bachelor's. So a lot of different things they have options for. These guys are going to be our neighbors. They're going to step back out into society one day. They're going to be our neighbors. They got to be fathers, sons, brothers, and they just got to be able to step back and have a real chance and have some sort of hope that we're giving them the tools they need to succeed when they get out to be part of our community.
If you look at the marginalized individuals, and we think those are people who want to work, who can work, but have some barrier to employment, such as a criminal record. So we want to work together to make sure that employers are comfortable bringing them on, to make sure that there's a good transition for the returning citizens, whether that's the transportation, the job skills that they can pick up within CoreCivic before they're released. And a good bridge to employment, so that first of all you reduce the recidivism rate for the inmates, but then you also bring them into society as tax-paying contributors, holding jobs and maintaining homes, and not on the public roll anymore.
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes, and these guys will have so much more drive and determination to be able to prove themselves because nobody wants to give them a chance. And that second chance is the opportunity for them to prove themselves, to make a living, to not go back and make the same mistakes that they did before. So once you've been incarcerated, that black cloud is hanging over your head, per se, and trying to get people to understand these men are talented. They just made a mistake. It gives people the opportunity to provide for their families, bring tax dollars and things back to the community. If these guys are given the opportunity, they're going to stay local. They're going to help build those businesses, which in turn get larger, help people out in the community, and just bring more to the valley and the city of Youngstown.
We think, give this program a chance, and we know it's not for everybody, but we also think it is for a lot of employers that are not yet engaged with bringing back or bringing second chance citizens into the workplace. We know there are challenges right now with workforce. We have one employer, for example, that told us that that company is turning away $100 million annually of work, of orders for their products because they don't have enough people to produce the products. And so it's definitely worth it for a lot of our members to engage with alternative pathways to employment. When we announced Kimberly-Clark last week, that's going to employ 500 people, and just before that we announced Amazon, it's going to result in 400 jobs. And just before that we announced the Youngstown Innovation Hub for Aerospace and Defense with potentially 700 jobs throughout the region. And that scares a lot of our employers who are locally owned, family owned, and will have a hard time competing, that are already engaged in, having employees jump from employer to employer. So we need to increase that labor force. We need to increase that labor participation rate. This is one way to do that. We're fortunate to have an employer and community corporate citizen like CoreCivic in our community. And so we think continuing to work with organizations like that is going to help chip away at the workforce problem. That workforce problem could get worse as we continue to create more jobs, but we are committed and have things in place to make sure that we're prepared for when the jobs become available to people here.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.